Welcome everyone to our Apex ERP Essentials webinar for today. My name is Ann Wehrheim. I am the practice director here at Apex. With me today is Lily Landhaus, who will be presenting Infor Reconciliation Management Beyond Cash. Just a little bit about Apex. We're a division of ASGN, serving 300 of the Fortune 500 in all major industries. Our solutions are highly scalable and deliverable nationally with over 180 unique IT skill sets in over 70 branch locations across Europe, the US, Mexico, and India. Specifically on our Infor practice has experience in more than just healthcare to service many Infor clients, as well as those using Epic, Cerner, and Kronos. As the second largest IT staffing and service provider, we can fill just about any role. Most of all, our Infor practice here works with clients beyond the cloud, offering the right services at the right time. Before the project, our advisory services guide the client through the selection process and assesses organizational readiness through business process assessments and process design. We offer total program governance and change management services to start clients off in the right foot for their implementation. During the project, we offer prescriptive guidance to reduce risk, duration, and cost. And after the project, managed services helps clients to sustain their investment through on-demand service, staff augmentation, and incident support to be your partner before, during, and after the project. As I said, today's presenter is Lily Landhaus, and I'll let her introduce herself and take it from here.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Lily Landhaus. I am a financial consultant with the Apex Systems FSM consulting practice. I've been here for about 2 years now and got recently recertified in Infor Cloud Suite Financials. Prior to this, I worked with the Infor Professional Services practice. And today's session, as Anne has mentioned, is on Infor Financial Reconciliation Management application. So we're going to one moment here. We're going to see how reconciliation management is an automated system helping you ensure the accuracy of your organization's financial data and manage your account reconciliations across all financials applications. This is typically a module that is added in a phase 2 implementation. In my experience, I've implemented it as a phase 1 as well. It is a powerful application because it includes approval process like throughout other financial applications. It's delivered through IPA and for process automation. You have audit trails enabled as well. And last but not least, it is tightly integrated with all your Infor financial applications, including reconciliation of accounts related to your supply chain applications, as well as GHR payroll accounts. And in addition to that, you also have the ability to reconcile data brought over from third-party systems. So we're going to go over configuration, processing, as well as do a summary and look at some of the updates that Infor is delivering on a continuous basis with each release. So as I mentioned, we are going to highlight the configurability of the application. It has the flexibility to meet your specific requirements. It's tightly integrated, and you can automate the reconciliation process and only manage exceptions. And Infor delivers several roles related to reconciliation management. When I go in our sandbox environment, I'm going to use the application administrator role because that gives me access to everything. So it's more straightforward. But just know that there are all these roles delivered. Reconciliation administrator is basically setting up, in charge of the configuration and the maintenance of the configuration. Reconciliation manager has a more hands-on role in terms of determining what are the accounts that will be reconciled, setting them up, and scheduling the period reconciliation, typically as a part of the month-end close activities. A reconciler role is hands-on processing, performing the actual reconciliation, and then the auditor role having full view-only mode access. Okay, so we're going to review some of the required configuration, also some of the optional configuration. The high-level piece of configuration that you'd start with is the reconciliation management group. And this is group associated, it's a single one-to-one association to your actor context, much like the FEG, the Finance Enterprise Group. So you will only have one reconciliation management group associated to your actor. And depending on whether you want to use action reasons, there are delivered action reasons in the application that just need to be activated in order to be used on, whether you want to reject or reopen reconciliation. That is also available. And the auto reconciliation policy is, while it is optional, it's really the piece of configuration that enables you to automate the process as much as possible, in that when there are no discrepancies, the system will recognize that and set the status of the account as reconciled automatically. So let's go in the application and see how some of this configuration looks like. I have a lot of screenshots just in case, but I'm going to select here. I'm in our sandbox environment. I'm using the application administrator role, and I'm going to select the reconciliation management setup, and under general setup, I will show you the reconciliation management group. Notice that it has the auditor role selected so that the auditor can have the view-only view in the reconciliation application. Notice that the reason codes are selected. And I wanted to show you the delivered reason codes. So we have the reject. And all you have to do is select the subject from the drop-down and then give it a name and the description and make sure that the status is active. And then the auto reconciliation policy, what it does, of course, you give it a name and the description. You can provide a summary as well. It basically says that when the ledger balance is zero for the current period, or the out of balance amount is zero, then the account is considered reconciled. Same if there's no activity during the period, then that will also set the account to reconciled. So while we're on this page, before I forget, I wanted to show you that you have audit trails enabled. So if we look to, if we look to Oh, sorry. I think that's for, I'll show you the audit trail on the processing side of things. So let's go and review other items of configuration. Reconciliation teams, those are typically related to your approval process. However, you can use those also to distribute the workload across your team, to assign different reconciliation accounts to different teams. You have the approval codes and the approval levels, much like with other applications in financials. You will set up the approval code and set up one or several approval levels that have teams or specific resources associated to them. And there are process and service definitions enabled for the reconciliation approvals. These just have to be selected and then activated and associate the process to the service definition. So this is an example of finance reconciliation team approval code with a single approval level using the team, and service definition that is delivered for reconciliation approvals. Notice that the service is enabled, and the process definition is associated with the service definition. So another important piece of configuration that needs to be considered is in your FEG, your accounts that you decide to reconcile. Typically, it's the balance sheet accounts. Those accounts need to be set as reconcilable. So this checkbox here at the bottom of the page on the account, on the GL account, has to be turned on. Okay, so a little deeper into the configuration, how do you actually prepare the reconciliation application? There are two ways to reconcile your transactions. One is using a reconciliation template. That's similar to the reconciliation match rule that I'm going to show you. The reason that it's less used is because while it's similar, it has a limited selection criteria. It's typically used for simple cases. You cannot group multiple templates like you can with the match rules. So what I'm going to show you is the way that the match rules are used. And for that, I'm just going to go back in the application and continue from there. So under detailed reconciliation match rules, I have several rules here. I will show you the cash reconciliation. And notice that you have the section here showing interface parameters. It's for non-Infor data. So although this is completed here, we will not be using it. However, reconciling your GL data, here you can set up under the general global ledger rule, you can set up a custom group if you want to select only a subset of your GL data. Or in this case, we want to apply to all. And then under the line match field, we have several criteria that we can use. In this case, we are using the text variable replacement for the description and the transaction amount. Okay. And then you have match types. The Many to one is the more inclusive, but you also have all these other options. And if you establish tolerances, these are amount only. If the difference is within the tolerance amount, then a distribution is created for the difference and the reconciliation goes through. And then if you have a specific accounting string or account for the tolerances, then you would add those values here. Similarly, we have for non-cash reconciliation, let's pick the payroll deduction reconciliation. So basically what this says here, we are, instead of applying to all, we have a custom group. And so the custom groups are used across the application. In this case, it actually shows you here what the selection criteria is. The source code is PA for payroll deductions. And this corresponds to the GL event codes that you have in FEG. So these are system event codes. So it's narrowing down by event code PA and account types liability only. And then because we're using the source code for payroll deductions, we also use the line match field text variable replacement of source code. Okay, so the match rule has to be added to a group in order to be used on the reconciliation accounts. So for example, the match rule that I showed you, it is added to this group. You have the ability to stack multiple match rules against the group. If, let's say, you have different match rules for the same account or account type, more likely it's the other way around, where you'd be using the same match rule and match rule group for a range of values or account types. And with that being said, we can review in more detail how you can define your reconciliation accounts. But I did want to bring this up here because I got the question quite often, actually, while implementing reconciliation management. I was told, well, if we reconcile our cash in the cash management application, why do we need to use reconciliation management? And the answer is very simple. In cash management, you do have a similar functionality in terms of reconciliation, but in cash management, what you're reconciling is actually your bank statement against your cash code or your bank account. Whereas in reconciliation management, you reconcile for cash accounts, you reconcile the cash code activity against the GL transactions for the specific GL account associated with the cash code. And it's not just cash reconciliation, it really can reconcile all your accounts, whether they're, AP activity, assets, and even supply chain accounts that you're using, inventory, purchasing, and so on, payroll, as we've seen. And there is a type of reconciliation that you can use to reconcile third-party data. So I wanted to show you that. And when we go into the reconciliation accounts here, the first thing that we need to establish is set up a structure. I've seen this done in several ways where basically you want to categorize your reconciliation accounts by structure. So what I did here, very simply, I have a structure for cash accounts only and then for non-cash accounts. So if I open this structure, notice that there are two reconciliation types. One is account, which is what we're going to be using because we're reconciling GL data. And the non-account is delivered for the third-party data. So if you were to use that, then you would select non-account. The level of reconciliation is typically the accounting entity that is named company here. But essentially, you can use any of the dimensions you have on your FEG as reconciliation levels. You have to select the reconciliation currency and also required to populate the reporting basis because that's going to show the ledger activity. And then, of course, you need to make it active. The other structure that I have is essentially the same. It's just capturing different reconciliation accounts. And so that's a design decision that you can make. So under the non-cash accounts reconciliation, I have a couple accounts here, but we can start just to show you how it works. We can create a new account. So I'm going to use company and then select the account. The description comes over from the account. I can give it a description here. You have 3 types of reconciliation frequencies. Most likely you're going to use the monthly because this is a monthly process before you close your month. You have a priority and the risk that you can determine. And this is where you can see all the types of reconciliation that are available. So in this case, I'm going to use payables accrual. But as you can see here, you have the basic reconciliation for everything but all the other types, including third-party data. You have, assets, cash, receivables, and so on, as well as payroll. So I'm going to select payables accrual. If you use the close management application, you can populate the close task here and make it part of your close process. Here, as I was mentioning, reconciliation teams can be used for approvals, but they can also be used to distribute the work. I can also only select team members that are included in the reconciliation team. Of course, I want to make this, make sure that the account is active. You can request supporting documentation and attach the auto reconciliation policy, which is going to be very helpful and save you some of the work if there are no discrepancies. And then here I'm going to select the reconciliation match rule. I believe we had a look at the specific one for AP, and I'm going to select it. And then I'm loading the global ledger transactions at a detail level. And I'm going to say that I'm going to use the opposite sign for the transactions. Okay. So now I am ready to save. And then if I go back here, notice that it's added and it gives me a little warning here. It says that we need to reset the flag for a new account. So I'm going to come here, find the new account and select reset new flag. And the next step is to create a period reconciliation. So I'm going to select this. And remember, this is a sandbox environment. So I have all kinds of data here. I do have a report that I ran for September 2023. So I know I have activity. And so I selected September 2023. I'm going to submit. And now the period reconciliation is going to show up here in the last tab. And notice that the status is open. So it tells me that it needs to be reconciled. And I can now start the reconciliation. So that is showing now in process. And it tells me that the ledger amount basically is out of balance. So in order to do that, I know that I have run the report, the accrual reconciliation report prior to this. And I see the amount here matches. So I'm going to be able to add this report, and that will happen here on the reconciliation details. I can add it, and I can provide a reference number, description, and then I'm going to populate the amount, add the report, and now I can save. And notice now the out of balance amount is set to 0. So I know that my account is reconciled and I can complete the process. Okay, so it also highlights the fact that now this account is viewable for the auditor. Okay, so to summarize what we've seen, so I had a lot of screenshots here. But some of the takeaways, just more of a reminder that we've actually, I do have one thing that I forgot to show that I tried to show previously. I wanted to show that you do have audit trails. So you have the audit log and also the full audit log on the transaction that I think this one we just created. Okay, so you can see all the activity. So I'll go back to my slides. And just a quick review, we covered the configuration options, processing for the reconciliation management application, so that you have flexibility to configure the application to closely match requirements across your GL accounts. You saw the ability to use automation using the auto reconciliation policy, managed by exception in a fairly simple, intuitive manner. Just notice that I forgot to show audit trail, so you know that you have that functionality is also enabled for reconciliation management. Approvals, just as throughout the application, you have the ability to approve reconciliations. And last but not least, Infor delivers fixes and enhancements with each release. These are only the enhancements delivered with the latest release on October 2024. There's a lot of them. There's always something new coming out and improving the application. It really is a robust application, enables you to reconcile accounts and reduce risk and optimize your performance. So with that, I think we have some time for questions.